Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 10 of the podcast, Natty and Not. We are your hosts,
I am Alexis and I am Natty.
and I'm Mike, and I'm Not. And speaking of post show rebounding, I am in the rebound right now.
We were totally talking about that. And yes, show was 1 week ago today, actually,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
1 week ago today, we were like rushing to the car to get to Voodoo Donut and come
Yes.
home. Yes,
Immediately. Voodoo,
immediately.
Voodoo Donuts, and then the immediate stop at HEB for ice cream.
Because you can't have donuts without
You can't have an apple fritter without ice
beautiful,
cream.
beautiful vanilla ice cream,
Yeah. So
which
yeah,
was good.
which was awesome. Pigged out Monday, pigged out Tuesday, felt bloated and awful, but was in the gym Sunday, right? Back at it.
Yeah, which
Um,
was crazy.
yeah. So like total opposite of like your reverse, right? It was like, or did you take a day off or two after show?
I was wrecked last year post show.
Yeah, I guess we should probably talk.
Wrecked.
So let's talk about my comparison so far, just 1 week into it, right?
Okay.
So got new macros from Coach Monday. So Sunday, sorry, and went from 1,900 calories to 3,000 calories.
So hold on.
Which was
Last week of prep, you were at 1,900 and change
yep,
calories.
1,900 and change. I weighed in at athlete check-in at 194 pounds, like
194.
194 and change.
And you immediately jumped 50% of your calories.
Yeah, once we made the decision to go into off season. Yep.
Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
And so we're in the rebound.
Mhm.
And then so the rebound is basically in essence what it is capitalizing on your body wanting to take in all these food and nutrients and grow,
Mhm.
and really take advantage of this state that you're in, and push for about 8 weeks and get as much tissue, put on as much tissue as possible. So it's like training, dieting real hard. I'm expecting another food bump this week, but we'll see. And right
Yeah.
now he's got me on 3,000 calories plus 2 cheat meals, which was awesome. And honestly, like hunger has been crazy high. So the hunger levels, like even though my food bumped like significantly,
Yeah.
still am not like satiated. It's like unbelievable. Like I feel like I still can't eat enough.
Yeah.
Uh,
What was interesting though, like Sunday, Monday, you were a completely different person.
yeah.
Like, let's rewind. So show
Yeah.
was Saturday.
Show Saturday.
You got your food bump Sunday. You had like a big meal Saturday night. We went to breakfast
Yep.
Sunday. You ordered like 4 entrees for
So good.
yourself.
Yep.
So good.
Mm.
And then like Sunday, Monday, I think you were feeling really good. I don't think you were feeling like the super hungry yet because you started to get back into the super hungry.
Yeah. It's basically yeah, correct. Yeah, I think after like my stomach settled from the first 2 like sloppy meals, and then started getting into my regular diet of just like rice and protein and like asparagus and spinach and stuff. I like in between meals, I'm like, oh, you saw me like standing in the pantry just like eating rice cakes. I'm like, it's been hard. It's been super hard to keep it under control.
Yeah.
Um, doing my best.
Post show. Now I'm really curious for you over like the next few weeks because and this is where I feel like things are like mind-blowingly different, at least from my perspective, because they only have my experience,
Yeah.
obviously, to pull from. But then in watching other female bodybuilders, my experience is very similar to other females' experience. And I will say, I think it's whether PED use is there or not for females,
Yeah.
right? Because you got a 50% bump in calories, which is fucking ridiculous.
Yep.
My calories post show, if you can follow them, were maybe like a 200 calorie bump over the week before. So when you say rebound, capitalize on all of this food, you immediately get like a 50% food bump. My reverse was so different. And I think it's biologically, right? Because other women have a very similar experience to what I'm talking about. Your experience and your game plan with your coach is like completely different than mine, because I would be like, okay, 200 calorie bump, try to stay there, keep working my way back up. But it's not like this massive influx
Right.
in food. I think coming out of a cut, your body is primed because your body's hungry to put on muscle. So you like right post prep in a reverse, you kind of get the ability to put on a little bit of muscle initially, right? Like a just a bigger window for growth.
Yep.
But your rebound, I never even called it a rebound. You're calling it a rebound with your coach, right?
Yep.
You're reversing your rebound. He's talking about how you're going to put on all of this weight. You're going to get huge. You're going to build crazy freaking muscle. I feel like that's got to be just a biological difference, right? Because it's like, as a woman, because what grows muscle? Testosterone is what is leading to that muscle gain, right? And for like a female, your testosterone, even if you're an enhanced woman, your testosterone's not anywhere close to, well, I can't say this because I don't really know what a PED woman's testosterone levels are at, but like considering a normal female is like 10 to 70. Even if you're an enhanced female, I don't know how much higher you're going, what, like 300? I'm totally taking a stab in the dark because I have no idea.
Yep.
But like
No,
on
no.
the low side for a man, a normal man, like a normal non-bodybuilding man of about 40, your normal testosterone could be as low as like what, 350 on the low side?
Yep. Yeah, like 300.
300. And like an enhanced, I mean, your super physiological levels, right? You're like 1,000,
Plus. Yep.
2,000
Yeah, 1,000
plus.
plus. Yep. Yep.
Crazy. So I feel like that's a huge difference, and blew my mind when your coach was chatting with me about like his reverse plan for you, and then you talking through your reverse plan blows my mind, because that's not at all what my experience was.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's super interesting. And so that, from like a timeline perspective of when we plan on getting back on stage, I guess let's talk through it. I mean, it's so in simple terms, simple timeline, we're looking at about a year from potentially competing again.
Well, hold
And
on, because we're like, so you're rebounding for what?
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm going to explain it.
Okay,
So,
sorry.
yeah, so simple terms, we're looking at about a year to like roughly to like compete again. And what does that consist of? Okay, well, we're going to rebound for 8 weeks. We're
Hmm.
already 1 week down, so 7 weeks left. And we're going to go into a health phase where we're going to basically pull PEDs down to just maintenance TRT levels. And then we're going to sit there for about 6 to 8 weeks, get lab work done, make sure hormones, blood cell counts, everything
Hmm.
looks good.
Right.
And then if everything checks out, then we're going to go into a roughly 20-week push phase. And then that's again basically pushing food, pushing training. Um, we'll push PEDs back up, and then we'll follow that up with another health phase. So we'll take another break, get lab work done again to make sure blood, hormones, everything's good.
Hmm.
And then we're looking at like a prep, and that's one scenario, right? And
Right.
that puts us back on stage in about a year.
Now
Um,
hold on a second, because I've got questions.
yeah.
So going into the show, so like your last couple of weeks of prep,
Mhm.
what PEDs were you on? Because I know we talked about that before, but what were all of the things that you were on? So
Test,
you're on
ma-
testosterone.
mast, clen, and GH.
Weren't you on Winstrol too?
Winstrol, sorry. Yes, Winstrol too.
Okay. So you're on all those things. So test is testosterone. Mast is like a version of testosterone.
Masteron. Yep.
Masteron.
Yep.
Right. But I'm just like in my head, what do these things do? So it's
Yep.
like a version of,
It's another anabolic. Yep.
okay. And that makes your testosterone, like, what does that do?
That just helps with building lean muscle tissue.
Okay.
It stacks well with testosterone. It helps keep estrogen in check
Okay.
because it doesn't aromatize.
Okay. So you've got those two things. And then growth hormone is just more growth
Yep,
hormones in your
just
body.
helps more lean muscle growth. Yep,
Okay. Clenbuterol is a
is
fat
for
burner.
fat burner. Yeah, so I'm not taking
Okay.
that anymore.
So as of now, on the other side of the show, you're no longer, so you're still taking test and mass, but you're no longer taking Clen.
Correct.
Okay.
And Winstrol, I'm still
Winstrol.
taking.
What is Winstrol? So and this is what confused me. And I think I started to ask you about this before, and then I was like, I'll save it for later.
Yeah.
What does Winstrol do from like a PED perspective?
So it helps with endurance. It also helps with kind of thinning the skin, so it kind of gives you that kind of saran wrap look. Um, those are the two main attributes of like what it does. It also, I mean, it also in addition helps build lean muscle, right? They all kind of have that same mechanic.
Is it an
Um,
androgenic? Am I saying that word
uh,
correctly?
that's a good question. I gotta look it up again. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay. Were you taking Anavar?
No,
Why did I think you were taking Anavar?
I don't know.
I don't know. Because one of those is an oral, isn't it? The Clen is an oral.
Glen and Winstrol are oral. Yep.
Okay. Maybe I don't know why. Because I know Anavar is oral. I don't know why I thought you were taking that. Okay. So now post show. So Winstrol got added when you started prep or like partway through prep. Post show, you're no longer on the fat burner.
Right.
How long do you need to still be on Winstrol?
We're just gonna do it for 3 weeks, so 2 more weeks.
Just kind of like help you ramp back up. You didn't lose a lot of strength though. Like you didn't lose like any strength, right?
The first couple of days back in the gym, it was a little rough.
No,
But
but like pre
oh
before your
no,
show.
no, strength held almost the entire time.
Okay.
I think maybe the last two like depletion workouts, I like lost a rep or two, but it wasn't like.
Do you think that's like in okay? So could that be because of the Winstrol? Because typically you start like as the show gets closer,
I think it's a combination of everything.
it's got to be all the PEDs or for like a natural male athlete. Because I'm just thinking when I was going through prep, first time I started to notice like weird strength losses, like around 10 weeks out. Last year, it was maybe like a month out that I was like starting to notice like really losing strength, like where I like literally can't load up as much weight anymore. Do you think that you kept it the whole time because of Winstrol or the other PEDs?
Um, Sorry, say that. What's the question?
Like, do you think you held your strength? Because you didn't lose any
Oh,
strength. You said like you lost maybe like a rep or
relative
two.
to strength. I thought you were saying
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
relative to PEDs. That's why I was confused.
No, but do you think that your strength sustainment throughout prep is
Um,
because your PEDs? Like, what's the typical male experience? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't
Mm,
know. I know that I just know how I'm you know and reacted to everything.
yeah.
What I was expecting, honestly, to have more of a strength drop, but it just didn't happen. And maybe it was
Yeah.
more of me just mentally pushing through it. Um,
I'm mentally
maybe,
weak. I see what
maybe,
you're saying.
maybe it was the PEDs. You don't put words in my mouth.
That's what you said.
That's not what I said.
Okay. All right. So you're rebounding. You're going to
So
stay in Winstrol for 3 weeks,
yeah,
and then you're going to keep pushing the same PEDs that you were using to get to 8 weeks total, right?
correct. Yeah,
What's like what's your weight goal for the end of this 8 weeks? Like, what's the
yeah.
expectation?
So last off season, that's a good question, and like I typically don't. I mean, like targeting a weight really doesn't mean too much, right? We're targeting a look. It's like I want to get as big as possible without losing a six pack, because like that's when body composition starts to go out the window.
Body fat's too high for a
When
man.
body fat's too high, and then that makes prep really rough, right? So I think so, but ideally in my head, so last off season I was 223 with
Mhm.
some semblance of a six pack. I want to get up to like 240, 245, 250
But that's
maybe
your total off season.
for off season. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm
maybe
just
it won't be
thinking about
long
like
enough to get that high either. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm just thinking like what's the goal with the rebound as
Oh,
far as like
Yeah, I think it's just try to put on as much size as possible without getting doughy.
without getting too fat.
Yeah,
So
without
it's
turning.
really
Yeah,
it's really interesting from like the male perspective, right? Because your body fat can be so low and you can still be so healthy that the goal is just don't lose a six pack. Where on like the female side, it's considered like you're too low body fat if you have a six pack year round.
yeah,
And that's just like for hormone health and everything like that. For a woman, your body fat needs to be higher just for hormone functions, which is
yeah,
interesting. This is
yeah. Well,
different.
it is different, but I think also like you learned this week in the class that we're taking, right? If whether you're 200 calories over or you're 1,000 calories over, um, you're still likely to put on like muscle tissue,
Yeah.
like if you're over your maintenance calories, right? So it's like
No.
just doing it and without losing body composition, right? So you start putting on too much fat, then you need to pull the food back,
Yeah.
or work harder, right?
So you're in rebound for 8 weeks and then you
Yep.
go into a health phase. What's a health phase?
Health phase is basically just pulling PEDs to TRT and then just basically letting your body recoup, letting your hormones bounce back,
Hmm.
um, blood regulate, get your blood cell count correct, and then go and doing lab work to verify that everything is good.
Everything's okay. So that'll be 8 weeks. And then you
Yep.
go back on
And then we go back into
cycle
push phase.
for
Yep.
20 weeks. And then you sit then again at like another 8 weeks. So like, I mean, 8 weeks, 20 weeks, 8 weeks, that's 52 weeks. That's a year.
It'll probably be 4 weeks after that phase, but yeah.
Okay. Well, you said like 6 to 8, sorry.
Yep.
4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, roughly a year then.
Roughly a year is the simple timeline.
Yeah. So that's crazy. That's a long time. It's really interesting though, because like that's kind of how we plan out. That's how we've been planning out our time
It's how we look
for
at
the
time
last
now.
3 years anyway, right?
Yeah.
Is like I'm putting, all right,
When's
I
my
got
next
to do
show?
this. This is when I can start to compete again. So what do
Yep.
I have to do to get to that time frame? It really puts things in perspective. Like you need a good off season in order to build more muscle, bring up any weak areas. We see a lot of you see a lot of bodybuilders, not all of them, but you see a lot of them kind of just do show after show after show after show, like over the course of the year. And it's crazy to me because it's like your body needs like what you just laid out is a timeline on PEDs. And maybe it's just because we're so new to bodybuilding, we're not in this, we're still sort of like in the beginner side of things. And even though we've been working out for years, in this perspective, we're still very new. Like we haven't even hit moderate, let alone advanced. And maybe it can happen with some of those more advanced athletes, but like your body just needs time to grow. Even
Yep.
even on PEDs, like right,
It
that's like
takes
you've always said, it's just a tool. It just helps give a little oomph. You still got to do the other things. Your body
you,
still needs time
you
to
still yeah.
not just recover, but grow.
Yep. Your sleep has to be on point. Your diet has to be on point. Your training has to be on point. Those are way more important than PEDs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, no, I'm just saying, like, even if you're a PD user versus not a PD user, you still have to put the time in to
Yeah.
grow.
Yeah.
There's still like that there's a time equivalent. Like I don't take less than a year off season just because then I'm not putting myself in an optimal phase to grow.
You need time to grow. Yeah.
You just need time.
And I think also in that training they said that like if you're not doing more, if you're doing less than 20 weeks in an off season, you're like not enough time. It's just your body needs time to put tissue on.
But not even 20 weeks total. Because now I'm trying to remember the video and what it was saying, but not even 20 weeks total because your body has to rebound from being at such a low percentage,
Right.
right? Or at least I know from like the female side of things, there's a lot of recovery that goes into that. And I think from the female perspective, maybe it's different because typically when a woman gets that low body fat, they lose their menstrual cycle. So
Right.
they're not ovulating, or maybe they're ovulating, but like shit's still fucked up. It can take a couple months to get that back. I followed some female bodybuilders that like it took them almost a year to get their period back. So I think for women that like gently reversing, which is so hard to do, and then like that health phase is so critical just for female health. It's so different.
Yep. Yeah. But yeah, so that's definitely kind of the differences between at least men and women, and then
Mhm.
also, enhanced versus not. And
Yeah.
so,
It blew my mind how much food
I
you're getting,
I was
and you're
blown
still
away.
hungry.
And I feel like I'm starving. Like it's ridiculous. Like I get a good amount of rice. Like I was so happy the first day. I was like, look at all this rice. I
Look at
was
all the
like,
rice I
I
get.
was, I was, yeah, after those big meals, and I was like, all right, got to get back on, got to
Yeah.
start getting disciplined with the diet again. And then I was like, wow, look at all this rice. I went from making an embarrassing, like laughable amount of 43 grams of dry rice and cooked is like it's just laughable.
Yeah.
And then I went to 290 grams, and I was like,
So much rice.
this is amazing.
Baby was so excited.
I know, I was so pumped up, and yeah, it just uh, I, I'm really like I said, I'm super fired up. I have just like I've been sending coach form checks and everything because like I got judges feedback, which was really cool.
Mhm.
So the judges feedback. So I guess let's talk about that too.
Yeah,
Um, was overall like super nice. That it was actually the head judge. We bumped into him in the hotel, and he remembered us,
we did. Yeah.
which was really cool. Both and he ended up sending some really nice feedback. He said, I have a good foundation. Basically just go get big all over. He
Yeah.
said specifically arms, shoulders, legs. I mean, but that's pretty much
Everything.
the whole body. So just you need to just get big, and
Just get bigger.
and then kind of feedback that
This, but more.
yeah, just add muscle everywhere, please.
Just
Thanks.
put it on everywhere. Good job.
Yeah. So
But he
that's
said
what
you
I'm.
were balanced, which is good. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a really good testament to how hard you've been working, that you haven't been overworking or underworking any particular body part,
Yeah.
right?
He said
And
I
then
have.
that's like a big nod to your coach too for doing your programming appropriately, not just in general, but for you, for your body.
Yeah, yeah, and so it's just like that. That was like so he gave really good feedback.
Mhm.
Sent that to coach this week with my check in. So we'll see if we'll adjust anything based off of that.
Yeah.
But I'm just like fire ignited in my soul to just like I want form to be perfect, tempo to be perfect, time under tension. Like I am laser focused on
Yeah.
doing everything like perfectly. And so we'll see
Yeah.
what the if any changes happen based off of the feedback this week. But um, felt so good getting back in the gym. Energy is super high, and I'm loving it. Can't
Yeah.
wait to get back on stage. But they did say posing and presentation was really good.
No, your
So
posing's been on point.
so that was good. That was good
What you
feedback.
have that's really good that, looking around the gym, not a lot of people have is you've got really good form. Like, you know how to connect with your body parts. And I think that that plays a huge part in your posing because you know how to isolate a muscle. Like, you know how to isolate your rear delts, for example. You can do a lat spread really well. And I think you understanding how to isolate various muscles that some people don't even know how to activate or like turn on while they're working out to engage it. Um, and the fact that you dedicated so much time to practicing, like, showed really well.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, he was super. He's like, you did extremely well. You got a bunch of second places. You won the masters class. He was like, this was a great show. Like, what a great first appearance. So, like, he was super nice.
Yay, baby.
Gave me good critique though, and then coach gave me some good feedback too, just based off of what we saw in comparisons. And he's like, definitely need more density in the back, a little more and some more width. And it was just like, yeah, okay, got it. Just got to get big
Yeah,
all over.
just
Yeah.
grow.
So I love the critique. I love the feedback, and I'm like fired up to go. Start slapping muscle on. Let's go.
Yeah, I know. Looks good. Everyone at the gym was really congratulatory of you. Everyone was really nice coming
Yeah,
back to the
it's
gym.
so funny. I was super flat last week, and I could tell because everyone just like because so like the I was 194 at weigh-in, and this morning fasted. I weighed in at like 204 basically, so I gained 10 pounds in a week with like food
Right.
and water.
So much of that's water though,
It's
because
a
you were
lot of
so
it's
depleted.
it was
Yeah.
it's a good amount of water. It's like 5 pounds of water at least
At
in food.
least. Yeah.
And a bunch of people were like, "Man, you look so full." They're like, Did you compete already?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I competed, and I finally got some food in me." So I was definitely flat because there was
Hmm.
a couple people that were like, "Oh, you look huge today," and I was like, "That's the difference of 10 pounds. Water and food will do it."
Water and food
Uh,
will do it. That's for sure.
so I filled back up, and that was kind of the consensus this week, which was funny.
Yeah. But you learned also too a little bit more coming out of it what those different foods do. So, like
Yeah.
next time you go into a peak week, you just have better data of how your body responds and what you can do.
Yeah, we definitely undercarbed. We did not carb up enough, I think. And coach said that, and we kind of had like I goofed on my macros, but it worked out actually pretty well because
Because you goofed and ate too much.
I ate too much, and I was like, this is like 500 grams of rice. This doesn't seem right. And then I was like, oh no, coach,
Oh,
I just ate all my carbs for the day. What do I do? He goes, all right,
whoopsies.
let's see how pictures look. And
Yeah. And then he ended up giving you so much more
he
too.
gave me more. So it was just like, so now we know I could probably even carve up even more next time. But
Hmm.
we'll see how that goes. But
Yeah.
we got time to prepare. We're gonna do a warm up show, and the goal is to qualify in classic physique, as
Because
well
that's
as
where you want to be.
that's where I want to be
Yeah.
ultimately. So I want to qualify for nationals in classic in the open, and then also compete in men's physique and nationals. So
Yeah.
depending on timing, I might be able to just compete in classic in a regional show
Hmm.
to try and qualify first, and then just keep my men's physique um, qualification from this last show.
Sure.
But we'll just see how the timing works out.
Now,
I want
going with your timeline, so
yes,
like you're at least a year out
yep.
before
So yeah, October next
before
year
you'd be able
roughly.
to do anything. Did you look at shows? Because our time, we've got to figure out our timing. So it's
Yeah,
not just like your timing when you need to grow, but we've got to like work it in with the shows I already have planned out for
correct. Yeah,
2025.
yeah. So the goal is to not have any conflicts,
Right.
and there's a good chance. So scenario one is basically what we just talked about, where okay, if everything lines up, then we both end up competing roughly around the same time frame. Or it might make more sense. Maybe the off season doesn't go as well as I had planned. I don't. The physique's not quite there, and then maybe we just go into another push phase. We go into a health phase, and then go into another 20-week push phase, which then puts me into early 2026.
Mm.
So that's also a possibility.
It's hard when you look at it because the NPC schedule when they do the national shows, I think that they do like what, six of them,
Yeah,
six regular national shows, and then I think there's two masters national shows. I
yeah.
remember looking at the list the other day.
It's like Pittsburgh and Anaheim.
Yeah, but like essentially six nationals, two masters nationals, but you don't want to compete in the masters nationals necessarily. You're going for the open. So we've got like six shows.
Yep.
I think the first one's in April. There's like three over the summer. I think one early fall, and then the last one's December. So what sucks because that December one, I'm sure they're all really busy, but that December one's going to suck because then they don't have any shows again. Like NPC doesn't usually do shows January, February, March, or there's not many at least they pick up. So it's like if you go into competing next year, October, November, you have such a small pick because there's also not as many shows as there are like let's just say like June, July, August, there's like one every weekend. At least there's one every weekend in and around Texas. Not like let alone if like we were to travel to like Oklahoma, which is like a shorter drive than most of the rest of Texas.
Yep.
Um, you have such a small window. And then if you wanted to do nationals and you were using it, that you have to do the December one.
Yeah. Or maybe we decide not to go into nationals. Maybe we go into a short off season and then compete
Yeah,
at a national show mid 2026.
that's true. At least if you go into it in like earlier in the year, you've got a couple chances.
That's
right?
yeah.
So
That
it's
that
like,
last show is, man, everyone tries to make a push for that last show, and it ends up being god awfully long. Um,
yeah.
and so, well,
I did
yeah,
last year I did the warm, like it was basically
you
like the
did the
warm up
show.
show
Yeah, you did a
for
show
that.
right before that national show. Yeah,
And there
and
was
there
like,
was like 1,000 athletes.
it was over 700. They said it was the
Yeah,
biggest show ever. And as an athlete, that was the worst fucking show to do.
yeah,
Because number one, it was such a long fucking day. Between the morning and night, and then the morning prejudging went almost all the way to finals, where they had to push back, I think, the start of finals,
yep,
which is trash. They wouldn't even let the athletes sit in the audience. Now I understand why, right? Because there's just so many people, they didn't have the room. But that fucking sucked, because then I couldn't hang out with you guys
yep,
like around the time that we wanted to do anything. So that was annoying. And then when we were on stage for like 5 seconds. They spun us once, maybe moved some people around, and then done. And they told us that they wouldn't even provide feedback for that show. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna come here, spend all like I picked the wrong fucking show. That was dumb. But that was the one right before nationals. And like all those people there were using it as a warm-up show. So that was just really shitty. But if you do like the April timeframe, April or like whatever, there's like 3 or 4 shows in a row. Like we were following a couple people this year that were going into nationals. Um and they all did like the April show, June show, July show, and then I think most of them got their pro card at like the August one or whatever that like last one over the summer was, but they
yep,
kept going. So you have those opportunities.
right.
I'm I'm I would rather see you try that in 2026 than not have enough time and not have another chance
We'll see how it
doing
goes.
it at the end of 25.
Yeah, yeah, because there's no shows in the beginning of the year, which makes
Yeah.
a weird, gives you kind of a weird drought.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we'll see. So those are the two options. I don't want there to be any conflicts with any of your shows. So yeah, scenario
Yeah.
two probably ends up being more likely what happens, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
I got big plans for next year.
Yes,
It
you
would
do.
be cool to do a show together.
Yeah, we talked about the possibility of doing that one NPC show, which would be super cool.
That would be so fun.
That'd be fun, especially. And then if we did like photos, we could see if we could try to do like couples photos.
Oh my God, our photos would be so fucking hot.
That would be cool. That'd be super
Instead
cool.
of just like one of us being like super shredded and the other one looking a wee bit soft in
In
comparison.
in full blown off season mode.
Dough. One of us is like doughy
One
as fuck,
soup,
and then the other one's like the most. It's like those don't match. What the fuck is this?
fluff monster and sculpted god.
Yeah, right.
God
Oh my
goddess.
gosh,
Yep, that'd be funny.
that would be really funny. Those would be gross pictures. Gross to us anyway. Like not what we want, but that'd be cool to like shred down together.
Yeah.
Our poor children.
Oh my god.
Like our poor
Two-
kids. We have to
Two
like.
hungry assholes in the house, like fucking. The kids
You
will be like,
started to
"We've
turn
been."
back into like a little bit of a hungry
The,
asshole this week. Let's
the
just
kids would
throw
be
that out there.
like, "We've been grounded for 3 months. We stopped talking."
Aw,
No,
we can't do that to our babies.
no, I think we would still keep each other in check.
I think we would,
It would
yeah.
just be like, "Hey, asshole, stop being hangry," and I'm like, "Okay," and then it'd be like, "Hey, asshole, stop being hangry." Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
Just okay. Just keep
I'm
keep
so
keep it.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Kids,
so
please
sorry.
forgive us. And they honestly, the kids are just like, whatever. They're like, yeah, well, okay, gotcha. I don't even think they're bothered by it. They're just like, okay, we know it. We know what time of the year it is.
But I mean, when you
The kids are actually really patient,
or
and they're
I,
great. Yeah,
they're fantastic. And like, let's not put this out. Like, we're not
yeah.
monsters.
No,
You just
no.
like you just become short. And
Just,
it's like,
yeah,
mommy, daddy, what?
it's one word
It's like,
answers. It's like, no, don't do that. Stop it. Knock it up. No,
right.
it's
Right,
just
right,
very.
right.
You're not yet. We're not yelling. It's just we're
We're
just.
not yelling at our children. We love
Yeah.
our children. Just short. And it's like for a
Just
second.
cute.
And then we catch each other and then we're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
It was
Didn't
like,
mean to do
oh,
that.
bring it in. Come here. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then you get those big lovey hugs.
Yeah. No, they were awesome.
So yeah, we don't, but we're at least for now not planning on overlapping because you've got at least a year.
Yeah.
And then a year puts you at least some of my plans for next year.
Yeah. Yeah, if I could weave shows in, cool. If I can't, then it is what it is, and we'll go
Yeah.
into another push phase. Okay, I'll go put more muscle on.
Okay. I'll just get bigger and hotter. That's fine. I'm really curious though how this rebound phase is going to go for you
Me
because
too.
already it's so different than what
Yeah.
I experienced. Like
Yep.
last year, coming out of prep, I did 3 shows in a row, like 2 weeks apart. And by the time I got to that third show, it was that NPC show. I was getting ready for that show that day. I was like, I don't fucking care. I don't want to be here. I don't give a shit. Like I was just so fuck it all day. I hated it. And then it was just such like a long crappy experience. Um but coming out of that show, I was so run down and I ended up like through all of the prep and the stress, either gave myself leaky gut or just my horrible gut problems stirred up so much to a point where like my stomach was so distended during like those last couple of shows, like the last 2 shows, like visibly I can see my stomach distended and I looked terrible on stage, which makes me so mad and so like more determined to figure out how to control my abs, which I think I'm getting much better at since wearing a waist trainer this time around. Like I can so much more easily control it. So hopefully that sticks. But like right after, I remember trying to get back on macros and I was so hungry. Like stop looking at me. Like I just couldn't get enough food in me.
Yeah.
And then
Just
just being so
insatiable.
yeah, and just being so exhausted. I think I remember saying to her, I just need a week off. I need a week where I don't go to the gym. I need a week where I'm not weighing anything. I just need to rest and recover and just eat until I feel sane. Because that post show hunger, you think about it, you were starving your body down beyond what your body wants to do. Like your body's fighting you.
Yeah.
Once you get to a certain point, like halfway through prep, where your body's like, that's a normal diet amount. Like we're going to stop here. And then you have to start pushing. And then that exhaustion and the energy and everything else, all your body wants to do is put on a healthy amount of body fat because you
Hmm.
get yourself so low. So, in response to now, your brain knows there's not this carrot at the end of a stick for me. I'm done with prep. You don't have that mental prize right there, or at least that the threat of fucking everything up if you overeat. You don't have that anymore and your body knows it. And
Yeah.
so you get like a little taste of food and your ghrelin, your hunger hormone just goes wild and you get this level of hunger. So if you've never been on a prep before, you get this level of hunger where it's almost animalistic. I can't explain it. You're in it now. Does that describe it to you?
Yeah. There's like I said, I mean, I've been using rice cakes as like a crutch, but I'll go into the pantry and I'll just like smash 2 rice cakes, 3 rice cakes, and I'm like,
But, like, how you
what am I
feel it in your
doing?
body,
Yeah,
like,
no,
you
it feels like you can't eat enough.
and you
It's
can
what
be physically so
I
full
yeah.
and still feel like it's just you feel like an endless pit, like you just can't get enough food in you.
Yep.
I remember that lasting a few like, a couple of weeks for me.
God, I hope it
I'm really
doesn't.
curious how long that's how long that lasts for you.
Yeah, I'm hoping when I get if I get a decent food bump, like I hope that like it starts to regulate everything to where the point where because I got to the point last off season where I was just like, I don't want to eat any more fucking food. I hate food.
Yeah.
I don't want any more of it. And now I'm just like, you know, like
Food.
food is amazing. Like I went to Walmart and bought like a bunch of like everything that they had plant based, and I was like, "Ooh, Reese's cups. Ooh, this. Ooh, gotta get some of that. Oh my god. Oh, look, they have a
You got the oat milk Reese's, and you
we
got
got-
the oat milk Hershey's,
yeah, we got to stock up for
and
Halloween.
you got the Unreal peanut butter or not peanut butter, like peanut M&Ms, the Unreal version. It's not M&Ms, but like
Yeah,
the Unreal version.
yeah,
What else did you buy? You bought fucking Oreos.
peanut butter Oreos. Peanut butter
You bought
Oreo. Yeah.
hamburgers, like the
Hamburgers.
Beyond hamburgers.
Yep. 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 Um,
You just came you went to Walmart with our daughter because she wanted to buy like crochet stuff,
yeah.
and you came back with like 5 bags of groceries.
Yeah. Something like that. But it was
Yeah,
fun.
something like
We had a
that.
good time. Yeah. We
I'm
got to
sure
stock
she
up.
was thrilled.
We had, it was just like, well, we got to get candy for Halloween and get all this. And I
Yeah,
was like,
because
oh,
that's
while
what
we're
we're gonna
here, we're going to, oh, might as well grab some of these. Oh,
might
look,
as well, yeah.
I grabbed some cream of rice. The cream of rice was cheap. But
Yeah, cream of rice. It's
they have,
good. Cream of rice is
I
good.
saw they had a giant, like 32-ounce bag of Fruity Pebbles. And I was like, locked in on that. I didn't buy it, but I was like, that's good for when I'm back pushing food again. Cause like Fruity Pebbles was like my one
Dude,
crutch for
cereal
like
cereal
getting,
is the best fucking
yeah,
shit.
I could just
So
like,
good.
it's a way to get carbs in without too much hassle because like
Yeah.
at a certain point it feels like you're gorging when you're on the other side of prep and you're like deep in the off season.
Yeah, it's
And
too
Fruity
much.
Pebbles was like a great way of like, it's not the best way, but like
Mhm.
when I was having a hard time, it was like the only way I can muscle down to the carbs.
Yeah,
um
that's crazy.
so but maybe we'll see how hunger goes like maybe I end up you know powering through more rice than I think I can.
I'm sure
We'll,
it's gonna be different.
we'll
It'll
see.
well, it'll be different. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, excited.
Yeah, that's good. So no feedback yet from coach this week on
Nope.
how you did.
Coach is getting married, so I probably won't get feedback
Probably
for
won't get it for a couple days.
couple
Damn
days.
it, coach. Just tell me I could get more food and then you go get
I
married.
know it's going to go up, so I'm just going to do the math myself. I'll tell you what the math is when I'm done.
I'll
How
tell
about
you, coach. You go on your honeymoon. I'll let you know where I'm at when you come
yeah,
back.
we'll see what
You can
pictures look
fix
like
it.
next week. Yeah, might have to pull food back.
You'll fix it later. I'm just gonna do this for
Yeah, I'm
now.
gonna go do damage. You figure it out. I'll start doing 2 a days if I have to. As long as I can eat, I'll do
I'll
two
do
workouts a
cardio
day.
again. That's fine.
I am. I'm doing fasted cardio, 20 minutes every
Well,
day.
you needed that in your off season for your blood sugar.
Yeah, because my body wasn't doing good with handling all the food.
Yeah.
So I needed the fasted cardio. So I'm just keeping the fasted cardio in. Honestly, like I love it. I love keeping the 20 minutes in the morning goes so fast.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like
because you're not doing like an hour anymore.
it's like two or three, it's like two YouTube videos or like and just like
Yeah, it's quick.
before you know it, it's done. And then I'm just like it's a great way to start the day. So I'm gonna keep it in. I was gonna do it
That's
five
good.
days a week. I'm just gonna do it every day. Maybe there's 1 or 2 days I'll skip, but
Dude, don't wake up early tomorrow. I want to sleep in.
all right, maybe not tomorrow. All right,
Okay. Don't
but
do it on Sundays.
we'll see.
Have a rest day, god damn it.
Well, maybe I'll do it while you're cooking, so then I could earn that food.
All right, that's fine.
Um,
That's fine.
yeah. Oh, y'all, listen to this. Lex is gonna she promised to make me protein pancakes tomorrow. She's gonna make protein pumpkin pancakes, and
With chocolate chips.
with chocolate chips
You've
and
been so
a Beyond
drooly
egg
over all of the food.
and like with like cream cheese icing. I'm so fucking excited. So that's gonna be one of my cheat meals for the week. And whew, the way she was talking to me in the HEB while we were shopping, she was like, "Oh, I'll make you pancakes," and I was like, "Oh yeah, what else are you gonna do?" And you're like, get that Kite Hill cream cheese. We're gonna make some cream cheese frosting. And I was like, "Oh my god, and what else?" And then she's like, "We're gonna put chocolate chips in it." I was like, "Oh." She was. I felt like she was talking dirty,
Talking dirty to you.
talking dirty to me, and it was about food. I was
I'm
so
gonna make your food porn dreams
yeah.
come true.
Oh my god! We got a baguette. She's gonna make me a breakfast sandwich. I'm
I know you're
excited.
gonna. I'm gonna make you good food. I like to cook.
Yeah, we're
I
gonna
like to make good food.
we'll get a good leg workout in. Get carb up. It's gonna be
There you
awesome.
go. You're too
Anyway,
funny.
so I guess let's get into wins of the
But
week.
okay.
No, or check-ins. Sorry, check-ins. Let's do check-ins. How was your check-in? Do you want to talk about check-ins? Because I didn't get mine.
Yeah. Well, I know you didn't get yours. Well, I
So
got mine.
okay. Do you want to talk about it, or we can go with the wins of the
Um,
week?
I'll combine it too.
Okay.
So woke up this morning. So last I'm exactly 2 pounds heavier than I was last week, which super sucks because even though we went to breakfast on Sunday, um, I was still that made me actually not want to eat food for like a lot of the day. So I
Sure.
don't think calorie wise between that and then I ended up missing a couple of meals over the weekend. I honestly don't think calorie wise I was over. Now, fat, I was definitely over. Protein, I was definitely under. But like I don't think I was super offset calorie wise. I think it was probably about just equal. But I woke up this morning ovulating and I like just woke up with like just crazy bloat in my belly and it sucks and I hate that. And like this baby factory is closed. I don't need this shit anymore. Just fucking take it out of me. Oh my goddamn god. Fucking hate. I hate all of the monthly hormone cycle shit because it's like every 2 fucking weeks scales up. Oh, I'm super bloated. Why? Oh, it's because I'm ovulating and that sucks. Okay. And then I can have a good week, which is probably why my weight loss always is like in steps. Um, and then like the next week I'm good. And then the next week I'll get my period. I'm fucking feel disgusting as shit again, but had a very bloated stomach. So I'm like, I know that that's where it's coming from. Couple of my measurements were slightly down. Um, so because like so we were kind of in this mini cut planning on going into prep. I don't know if we talked about this over the last couple of weeks, but I have my plan for next year for my shows. So
I
I'm
think
gonna
we
go
touched
into.
on it.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah, we
I'm
touched on
gonna
it. Go ahead.
I'm gonna start prep December 9th, something like that. Early mid-December. So we're kind of just stabling out right now into like just table it and see and then give me some refeeds as my body gets hungry. So I like that plan. So anyway, I was up 2 pounds. So that was kind of annoying, but pictures look good. You can definitely
Look great.
my legs, I was sad. So my legs measured in at like 22 and a half. And I was finally up to 23 for a while. But I get it. It's like fat, but I want 2 foot legs so bad. That's like my goal. 2 foot legs. But fucking my femurs are so long. It's so hard for me to grow my quads because they're just so long. It's annoying. Anyway, you can see a lot more definition in the back of my legs when I was doing my back pose. Holy shit. You could
Mm.
like all of a sudden a lot more lines came in. So that part was fine. I have started to a couple weeks ago have a little bit more GI distress than I typically do. So my gut has been a mess since July 2020. Let's just say that. I was fine fucking before that. Um, we have finally worked on a GI plan and supplement thing. I did my Viome test. I got all the bad foods. I did bad for me foods. I did all of that. And for like a little while, I was good. I got off of all of my heartburn medication. I was on 2 different things. That's gone. So, all things considered, my gut health has improved so significantly. Whereas when I do have GI distress, it's very predictable for me and it always comes around the same time of day. But some things have been amplified over the last few weeks. So talking to coach about it, she goes, I think you might have SIBO, which sucks, which is small intestine bacteria overgrowth. So she goes, we can do one of two things. We can order the test. You can do it. I've done one before, like my GI doctor years ago, right after my gallbladder came out and all of the shit started going down. She ordered one for me. It sucks. You eat nothing but rice for like 2 days. And then every hour on the hour, you have to like breathe into like a tube or something. It was weird. And it's just, you eat nothing but rice. You cannot have anything else. So, like, that sucks. She goes, you can do that. And then if you have SIBO, we can do this protocol. And so I said to her, what if we do the SIBO protocol and it turns out I don't have SIBO? Would I benefit from that? Could that maybe still like fix whatever like this weird thing is going on if I don't? She
Yeah.
goes, yeah, it could benefit you. So we're starting a SIBO protocol.
Sweet.
It is like a ridiculous amount of supplements. I'm gonna follow it to the T, but it's like 6 different things, handfuls of pills with
Yeah.
every goddamn thing. So that sucks, but whatever, it's fine. So it's an 8-week thing. I'll get it when I get everything in the mail. There's like one thing I had it that wasn't on Amazon, so that'll be here in like a week. So that was my check-in. A lot of gut health stuff, which is just annoying, and hormone stuff. So that's just always what I'm dealing with.
All right. How about wins? Let's talk about wins.
Had a really good first week of my block. So good wins at the gym this week. I hit a good, I think it was a PR on my glute thrusts. I was at like 3 sets of 12 at 455. And my last set, I couldn't get up my 12th rep. I like failed on 11. So that was really good. I love all my workouts. So I got a new set of workouts this week. I absolutely love them. She threw in some like mind fuckery on me, which is fun. I like when she does that. I like to curse her out while I'm doing it. And it's just like, that's just love. Because I'm like, you fucking bitch giving me this shit. But she's got me doing things where I'll do like 1 set of 20. And then I'll follow that up with 3 sets of like a 10 to 12 or like a 10 to 15 rep range. And that's a massive mind fuck. But it's fun.
Yeah.
So good workouts this week. Overworked my back a little bit on Wednesday. So it's like a little ginger, but good otherwise. So yeah, those were
Cool.
my wins. Nothing super crazy this week. Just good solid week at the gym.
Right
What
on.
about you? Do you have wins that you're gonna talk about, or just like the fact that you're eating food, or is that your
Yeah,
win?
I was gonna say, good strengths up. I'm into growing. Y'all, did I tell you my wife's gonna make me some sexy ass pancakes? Woo! I'm winning.
You're winning. That's
uh,
funny.
yeah. So yeah, no, just I mean, just feeling great in the gym. Looking full again, which is like super full with fluid and everything, which is great. Just fired up for food and for training, and yeah, I'm excited to see what next week what next week brings. But
Yeah,
those are
me
those are my
too.
wins. Those are my wins of the week for sure.
Awesome.
But I think we'll wrap it up there, and we'll see you all in episode 11.